is a heavy and vulnerable conversation to have. This platform is a safe place for all individuals to come share their life's journeys of surviving grief without judgment.
I'd like to welcome you to the QT Surviving Grief podcast. My name is Tiffany Ware, and I am the podcast host. And today I have a very special lady with me. I met her, probably my early remembrances of us being in pageants together here in Columbia, Tennessee. And she's actually my best friend's cousin. So I would like to introduce to you guys Miss Tia Alderson. Hi, Tia.
Hello, Tiffany. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a nice, beautiful
Yes,
Sunday, so we're
it
making it.
is.
We're here.
Yes, absolutely. I love Sundays. Those are my favorite days.
Yes, yes, a good day to refresh. And it's when you think about it, it's really like the top of the
hmm
week. Like Monday is not the top;
Yes,
it's always Sunday. So
yes,
I 100% agree with you there. Well, Tia,
absolutely.
I just want to thank you for coming on today. As you know, one thing I always like to do is to do a quick icebreaker because, as you know, Quentin, I know your father is Quinn's godfather, so you would be Quinn's
Yes.
god sister. Of
hmm
course, he was always silly, so I always like to start our conversations kind of light
hmm
with the icebreaker question. And so,
Okay.
luckily, I was thinking, what can I ask Tia? So I thought about this one. I mentioned the
Yeah.
pageants we were a part of.
hmm hmm
Um, when you were modeling,
hmm
what was your favorite contest and pageants to participate in? What was your favorite contest?
The talent.
The talent. Oh, I like
Yes,
that.
it was the talent because I remember we were in a pageant one time at Columbia State. Do you remember?
Yes, Miss
And
Image.
yes.
Yes.
And I done a monologue.
Okay.
Yes. I will not do it now. However,
Okay.
that was
Okay.
that was that was my favorite though. That was my favorite because it had meaning behind that
Uh-huh.
monologue. And being younger, I didn't really understand then, but as I grew,
Uh-huh.
and aged and thought about it, yes. So it would be the talent.
Gotcha. It's funny you say that. That was my talent for that one. I ended up
Mhm.
being Little Miss Image. I was end up being the queen
Mhm.
that year. And
Mhm.
I did one on this poem called I Am the Black Child. And it was so
Yes.
long, such a long poem.
Yes. Mhm.
But yeah, the talent is always good because you get to see that person and get to know who
Yes.
they are and their talent.
Mhm.
So thank
Mhm.
you for sharing that.
You're
Thank you. I know that
welcome.
took you back a little back in
It
time.
did. It did. It did. But that's okay.
Yes, it's always good to be able to reminisce on those good times. So,
Yes,
yes, yes,
absolutely.
yes. Okay, Miss Tia. So, I want you to tell the people, tell our audience, who is Tia Alderson? Just a little background, where you're from, any credentials you hold, what you do, career
Okay.
wise, anything you want to share. Let people know who you are.
Okay. First and foremost, I am a child of the creator of all things.
Yeah.
Um, that's absolutely first. It has to be
Mm-hmm.
first in my life. And then second, I was born to teenage parents in
Okay.
1975. My mom and dad were 16 when they had me. So I kind of grew up right alongside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was young until now, um, they've both loved me unconditionally. And let's see what else. I am an only child. No, I am not spoiled. Everybody always wants to say that when you're an only child, so you're spoiled. That is not true. I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. As a young girl, I found joy in softball. That was my
Okay.
favorite sport. I played softball for a long time. Do you remember the Riverside softball fields?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
I was young, but
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So I started there. And
Okay.
then I played for Central, and then I played for Columbia State, and I played for
Oh,
co-ed. And then when as we became adults, they had a
mhm.
league at Fairview Park, and then I played
Yeah.
there too. So
Mhm. Mhm.
probably 8 years old up until about 36.
Okay.
hmm So I done that. I think I just loved most about it the competitiveness,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
the discipline, however, the freedom that it gave me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why that's exactly why I loved it. Something else about me, I love music. I love dance. Um, Music feeds my soul. I
Mhm.
love the stories that music tell. I love the beginning, the middle, the end, the beat, the sound. I love
Mhm.
instruments. Let's see what else. When I was 13, I was baptized. Elder Frank Dow was the
Okay.
pastor that baptized me. And then in 2011, I changed my membership to Grace United with Pastor Kerry Dwayne James.
Okay.
So, as far as career, I am now a social worker for TSAP, which is Tennessee Child Support Employment Parenting Program.
Okay.
Let me correct that. Let me correct
Okay.
that because that's not absolutely official yet, but it is
Okay.
definitely in the
Ah,
process
it's
because
on the way.
I'm attending University of Tennessee Knoxville to complete my bachelor's and master's in social work.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm
Congrats,
doing that
Tia.
right now. Yes. So
Yeah,
I have one more
congratulations.
year and then I'll be done with my bachelor's and then I'll go right into my
Your
master's.
master's.
So the actual title is coordinator. So
Okay.
I'm a
Okay.
coordinator for Middle Tennessee. The jurisdictions are Williamson, Hickman, Lewis, and Perry counties. So what I do is I advocate, support, and assist for non-custodial parents who have been ordered by court to pay child support. I just meet them where they are. Whatever it
Mhm.
is that they need support in, my position is to advocate, support, and assist. So that's what I
Okay.
do. I absolutely love it because one of my passions is to help people. I love to help people.
Mhm.
So that's what I do now. And then I am a mom.
Mhm.
So I have two boys, Landon and Lathan. Landon is 12, Lathan is 8. I can't believe it, but Landon will be 13 in May.
Wow. Time
And
flies.
Lathan will be 9 in September. Yes, time flies. It really does. Um, but that's it, really. I mean,
Yeah.
in a nutshell. Yeah.
That was good, Tia. I didn't even know you was athletic. I didn't know that you were
Mm-hmm.
into softball. So I
Mm-hmm.
definitely learned something new today about
Yes.
you.
Yes. Played for a long
Yeah.
time.
Gotcha. And I like
Did.
how a lot of the things you talked about was you like being of service.
Mm-hmm.
Even in your current, career field, you're being of service and helping others and which is one reason we're really here today is to,
Yes.
delve into grief and what grief looks like not only with death but also with life circumstances that happen. So
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you giving that introduction. That was amazing.
You're welcome.
Well, I guess Tia, we're gonna delve into we're gonna start with the grief topic. I
Okay.
know when I talked to you early on, there were several women in your life that had
Mm-hmm.
transitioned that
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to just kind of tell us a little bit about. And it was your grandmother, great grandmother, a
Mm-hmm.
best friend,
Mm-hmm.
and then your son's grandmother. Am I correct about
Mm-hmm.
that? Okay, yeah, I
Yes,
thought that
you
was
are.
it. And so yeah, I just want to open up this space for you to kind of give a little bit about those ladies, and then we'll get into some more detailed questions about them.
Okay. So I feel like I carry the legacy of four incredible women who helped to shape and mold me. First and foremost, Lutisha Harris. That is my mother's grandmother. Okay, so we used to call her Granny. she didn't play any games. Love this lady to pieces. She was our matriarch of our family. She was strict but
Mhm.
wise. A lot of my
Mm.
knowledge and things that I've learned came from her, like how to cook in a cast iron skillet.
Okay.
At a
Yeah.
young age, I had no idea about cooking, didn't even know what a cast iron skillet was.
Right.
However, yes, she taught me that. I do remember she had fallen one time and hurt her leg, and it was very difficult for her to get around, to be mobile. But that didn't stop her. She knew
Mhm.
everything that went on. It did not make a bit of difference. Um, and we always wondered, like, how did Granny know that? She wasn't
Mhm.
there. How did she know? When you're young, you don't know those things, right? You're curious,
Right.
like, how do they know? How does she know? So that was one good thing about her. She always kept us in line.
Mhm.
Um, you had those manners. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. No,
Mhm.
ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Please. Thank you. May I have? You didn't
Right.
just go, into someone's house and not
Right.
speak.
That's
If
right.
you did, you knew she would definitely correct you. Okay,
Mhm.
with love though,
Mhm.
with love,
Mhm.
but you
Yeah.
definitely knew. She was also the type of lady, she handled her business. Um, Not like now where, you fill out all these papers or you fill out all these applications online and that's how you deal with credit or getting a line of
Mhm.
credit. You could go to Middle Tennessee Bank uptown and say her name. Talk about credibility.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes, we know Miss Letitia, like Aiken's
Yeah.
Market. You probably
Mhm.
don't remember Aiken's Market,
I've heard
which
about it,
is
but no.
which
Yeah.
is where Visions um
Okay.
is right now. But yes, that was Aiken's Market. She'd send us up there. We didn't have to have cash to go up there. She'd give us a list. This is what
Mhm.
I want for the house. This is what I need for y'all, and we got it. They flipped
Yeah.
through the little Rolodex and write off whatever they wrote. And
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm talking about a very, very special lady to
Yeah.
me. And in the 90s, she passed, but
Okay.
she was older. She lived for decades,
Mhm.
but that
Mhm.
doesn't stop
Mm-mm.
how we feel,
That's right.
missing her and wishing that she was here and, the guidance, the discipline, her
Yeah.
strength, the
Mhm.
love. I still miss it till this day. And I talk
Yeah.
to Landon and Lathan about her all the time.
Mhm.
And I tell them, because I know like she didn't play about babies, you
Mhm.
got up and you clean that baby, you feed that baby, that was her.
Right.
Like, you better not let that baby cry,
Uh-huh.
those types of things. So yes, we definitely miss her. All of our family do. But
Yeah.
she was one incredible woman that I miss. And
Mhm.
I still grieve her, but
Mhm.
not in a sad way, because I know without a shadow of
Mhm.
a doubt she's with our Lord and Savior. I know that
Yeah.
she is. You
Yeah.
were going to
Yeah.
church, and White Springs United Primitive Baptist, you washing feet and all that. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how, yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
that's how she raised us. So I miss her. And then her daughter, which is Mary
Mhm.
Elizabeth, which is my mom's mom.
Okay.
She
Okay.
she helped to raise me because again, my mom and my dad, they were teenage parents. So
Mhm.
me and my mom lived with her mom and her dad, when I was, younger and a baby. And she was quiet, loving, generous, would give you the shirt off of her back. Um, However, her and her mom were like night and day as to where Granny, she was gonna let you know. And then my other grandmother, she didn't take nothing. However, she was more quiet, about
Okay.
things. She would let you know though. Like she was the type, I don't condone certain things. However, you are
Mm-hmm.
gonna take up for yourself, you know,
Right. Right.
um, that type of thing. So yes, and one of the sweetest memories that I have with her is every holiday every holiday, we would always listen to her favorite song, Misty Blues. That was her
Oh, I
favorite
love that.
song. So,
Yeah.
yes. So, what I do now during holidays, and she left, let's see, she passed, it was in 2020.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
2020.
Recent. Okay.
So, I play Misty Blues. I called her Nettie, and the
Mm-hmm.
rest of our family called her grandmother. And I would say, "All right, Nettie, here's your song," So just little things like that, which I use as coping skills.
Yeah.
When it goes to cooking and going back to Granny Lutetia,
Mm-hmm.
what she taught me to cook in a black cast iron skillet was eggs. And you use a spoon, you don't use a fork because that's how you make them fluffy. Small things like that may not mean
Yeah.
something to somebody else. It means
Right.
everything to me because that's what she taught me. So I teach Landon and Lathan those things, and I talk
Yeah.
to them about those things because they are important to me and they
Mm-hmm.
mean something to me, and those
Yeah.
are my sweet memories of them. And then Topeka Whitson, which is another
Mm-hmm.
one. She was not only one of my best friends, but she was like my sister. Her
Okay.
birthday, January the 21st, 1975. So she's 12175. Well,
Mm-hmm.
mine is September 21st, 1975. So I'm 92175. So
Gotcha.
that was something that we always,
Mm-hmm.
conversed about. We always had a conversation about. And she definitely kept me grounded, had an
Mm-hmm.
old soul. We were the same age, but she had an old soul. I remember the first time we had kind of hung out or whatever, and she made the comment. Well, me, I just said that I was hungry. Well, she made the comment she was going to get her some victuals. And I'm like, victuals? Victuals, So yes, 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 love it. But Heart of Gold,
Mm-hmm.
she always reminded me to keep my feet planted on the ground, stay grounded,
Mm-hmm.
slow down, think before you act. Um, just things like that, she always let me know
Yeah.
things will come to you. Like you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to chase or things like that. Just slow down, take a
Yeah.
step back.
Yeah.
Yes. So I appreciate, and I told her all the time, like, I appreciate you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like she definitely kept me grounded. I miss her. I miss her. And for her and myself to be same age and she's
Yeah.
she's not here, that was definitely a reality check.
Yeah.
Um, she was sick, she had cancer and had surgeries and those things and got rid of it. It come back. And I remember she wrote me a letter. I didn't even know that she wrote this letter. And then when she passed,
Uh-huh.
her mom called me and asked me to come over, that she had something for me that was really important. And so I did. And that's what she gave me, a letter. I mean, a 2-page letter, like
Wow.
how she felt about me. And
Oh.
I was one of the best people in her life. And how she loved me. And
Mm-hmm.
there was things that we talked about, and it was only just me and her. And just love. Like she just had so much love for people.
Mhm.
And she took care of a lot of people. She really did.
Okay.
Our conversations was she was going to pick turnip greens, and
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
I say old soul, I mean old
Oh,
soul. Do you
so
hear me? And
yeah.
I loved every bit of it. So
Yeah.
just a loving, generous young woman. Um, and then Nana. Nana, which is Velma Larry, that is
Okay.
Landon's grandmother. That's his dad's mom. And
Okay.
I didn't meet her until 2004.
Okay.
And so met her in 2004, and I just remember her words. Always do the right thing. She always said that to everybody. Always do the right thing. And same way, generous, loving, love to laugh, love to cook. She's not just going to cook for one person. I mean, she's going to cook for 50. And if 50 more, are in her pathway, she's offering them a plate too, and
Uh-huh.
miss her, miss her, miss her. Okay.
Mhm.
But she passed. It's, been a few years too now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I miss her too. There was times where it was just me and her.
Mhm. Mhm.
It was just me and her. And she helped me with a lot of things, and I helped her with a lot of things too, but she was like a second mother to me, and I was like a
Okay.
second daughter to her, so
Gotcha.
but yes, miss her too. So all four of them
Yeah.
had some type of effect on me
Mhm.
when they passed. It was very difficult when it happened.
Mhm.
However, I still talk to my children, you know, about all the good things with them,
Right.
and they know, even though they did not get to meet Granny, they
Uh-huh.
met the other three, and they know that they love them without a shadow of a
Yeah.
doubt, and felt the warmth, felt the love, and how good these women, you know, were to them. And so,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I like how each one of those ladies had what was influential in your life in a certain
Hmm.
way. You talked a lot about how, your, granny was more like business minded, like this is how it
Hmm.
is, outspoken, but
Hmm.
then your grandmother on the hand like a little more quiet, but you knew
Yep.
she, and you went through cooking. You just taught me something about the eggs and the
Yes.
spoon. Did not know
Hmm.
that.
Yes.
And then how, Topeka really did, show you the importance probably of like self care and just
Hmm.
like you said, staying rooted, staying grounded, and
Hmm.
the importance of that.
Hmm.
And then on up through Landon's grandmother,
Hmm.
the relationship you had with her and how special that
Hmm.
was. And I always
Yes.
say when, families merge like that and you become someone else's, daughter, second daughter,
Hmm.
bonus daughter, or bonus mother, or, that's major, and it
Yes.
shows the relationship and how that merge just creates
Hmm.
a good relationship, and you can really be influential in a person's life when that happens.
Yes.
So thank
Yes.
you for sharing a little bit about all four of those ladies.
You're
Let me
welcome.
ask you this, of everything you just named to me, what is something that you what's one thing that you would take from what you learned from those four, to put into Landon and Lathan? Like, what values did they have that you're going to be sure you kind of instill in them?
Hmm. So, first and foremost, every last one of them loved the Lord.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
last one of them.
Mhm.
They all taught me different things, but the end result,
Mhm.
they love the Lord. Every last one of
Gotcha.
them. So, with that
Gotcha.
being said,
Yeah.
I have already instilled that into them
Yeah.
because I want them to know. that he's a provider.
That's
You know,
right.
he's the way out of no way. You know, those toys that you got, that
Mm-hmm.
was God that did that. You know,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
go to Disney World, that was God that did that. He allowed mama, or daddy,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um, to allow us to work, to
Yeah,
make the
that's right.
money so that
That's
you
right.
can go. If it wasn't for that, then you wouldn't have the things that you have. You wouldn't be able to go to SeaWorld. And I'm just naming things that are important to them because they're
Right.
children, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
So
right.
they don't care about house note and mortgage and the car needs to
Right.
go to the shop, and they
That's
don't care
right.
about that. they
Oh
they
no.
care about the amusement park.
Yeah, that's right,
And
Tia.
yes, and they care about going to Target to get a toy and you
Uh-huh.
know Cub Scouts and things like that. So I just let them
Yeah.
know the reason you get to be in Cub Scouts is because God provided a way for
That's
you to
right.
be able to be in Cub Scouts.
Yeah.
Your uniform wasn't free. Like he
Mm-mm.
allowed, you know, me to have employment
Right, right.
to make money to purchase it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
teach them that.
yeah.
Like, I can't just go to the store like with Landon. Like,
Uh-huh.
he wants his Skittles.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm with
you
him
got to
on that.
have
I like
money to go to the
that's right.
store to get Skittles.
To get Skittles.
Like I can't
Yeah.
just go to the store to get Skittles. Like you have to purchase them.
That's right.
So
That's
God did
right.
that. He
Yeah,
allowed me to
yeah.
have those $2 to
Uh-huh.
go in there to get your Skittles. So I
Yeah.
just try my best to instill that in them. And I'm glad you asked that too, because I just want to
Uh-huh.
share.
Yeah,
So
go
next
ahead.
Sunday, March the 30th, Landon and Lathan are being baptized.
Oh, wow, Tia.
Yes, they are. They sure are.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
such a blessing.
So yes, I'm definitely trying with them. But I give all praises to God because
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
tell you, Tiffany,
Mm-hmm.
life be lifing,
Yes, ma'am, it does.
and
Yeah.
grief plays a major, major part,
Yeah.
in it. And it gets really challenging. It gets
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
hard. And when grief comes about, when things happen like that, you have to be intentional.
Yes, you do.
You
Yeah.
have to be. When you don't
Yes.
feel good, you still have to do things. When you don't want to, you still have to
Mm-hmm.
do things. So for me, I have to
Mm-hmm.
put my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first.
That's
Then
right.
it's me.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's my children.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
everything else falls in place. I have to do it that way. Because if I don't, I'm going to tell you, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd be.
I understand, Tia. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I thank him for sanity. I thank him for
Yeah.
allowing me to be in my right mind.
That's
I
right.
thank
That's
him
right.
for giving me wisdom, knowledge, strength,
That's right.
like
Yeah.
I am dead serious.
Yeah.
So, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't be one way
Uh-huh.
1 minute and then
Right.
another way another minute. Like, this is my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my
Oh yeah.
lifestyle. Like, I have to do things the way that they are being done because I have to be able to raise my boys.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't have relationship with the Lord first and let him lead me and guide me, then I can't do anything
Mm-hmm.
for Landon or Lathan. I
Yeah.
can't. I
That's right.
tried. I
Yeah.
can't. It
Can't do
doesn't
it.
work. When I try on my own, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Nope,
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Thank you for that reminder, Tia. You know, I think what you did now, you well, number one, you just testified, and everything you just said is so true. Like from God, from losing feeling like I'm losing my mind and all that, and how you have really built a strong relationship with God, and also being honest to the fact of I tried to do it without him,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't. And
No.
how all four of those ladies really instilled, the importance of God, which you're now able to,
Mm-hmm.
teach to your sons. And, something like them making a choice to get baptized, like that is
Mm-hmm.
major at their
Mm-hmm.
age. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
And it just shows the fruit that you have really produced in them for
Mm-hmm.
them to say, Mama, I want to be baptized, or
Yeah.
Pastor James, and I know Pastor James is your pastor. I want
Yes.
to be baptized and I want to have a good relationship with God. I want to start building that. So
Yes.
Tia, I appreciate you for sharing that, because it's a reminder to me of, even in my own journey, of it's time to get that relationship. It's been too
Yes.
long. And you can't
Yes.
handle it on, and you
No.
can't handle when, like you say, life be life, and you can't
No.
handle these things on your own.
No.
You have to have
You
some
can't.
type
Yeah.
of power, and not power comes from
Yes.
God. So I
Yes.
appreciate you for going down that, and bringing that out. That was that. I didn't even have that as a question. They know, but God, um, for me to even ask you that about the value. And so it's a great segue, Tia, actually, into
Yes.
talking about your boys.
Yes.
I know one thing that has, recently did occur,
Mm-hmm.
uh, is your baby boy, his father, Sean Duncan, transitioned
Yes.
about a year and a half ago, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that was something, we was going to explore a little bit of today. But
Okay.
I first want to start by um wanting to know, how have you dealt with that, with Sean's, untimely passing, because it was y'all before Landon
Yes.
Lathan came.
Lathan. Yeah.
And so yeah, just how have you been doing, just as Tia, not even, we'll get into the mother piece and the boys, but just
Okay.
as you.
So first, I must say, I have known Sean since I was 8 years old. It's
Wow,
not
long
like I
time.
just met him yesterday, day before. No.
Uh-huh.
I was
Yeah.
in the second grade and he was in the third grade. So I still remember my teacher,
Gotcha.
Miss Bowman, his teacher, Miss Poling. Okay.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
um, rough. That was one of the roughest times. Still is.
Mm-hmm.
Still is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, unexpected.
Yeah.
Definitely unexpected. However,
Yeah.
I have to believe that everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
We may not know the reason, um,
Yeah.
especially if it's God's work. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
to know the reason. We just have to trust and believe. Does it make me not have pain or not grieve or not hurt? Nope. Still hurts.
Right.
Still does.
Yeah.
However, however, definitely unexpected. It was like a slap in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number one, he was only
Mm-hmm.
50 years old. Number
Mm.
two, how am I supposed to raise Lathan without him?
Yeah.
Um, he was my
Yeah.
friend. Good, bad, and the ugly. Like
That's
it
right.
wasn't nothing that we hadn't
Mm-hmm.
done. Whether
Yeah.
we were in
I
a
understand.
relationship or not in a relationship, we
Yeah.
always were a part of each
Mm-hmm.
other's life, regardless. It didn't matter who
Yeah.
he was with, it didn't matter who I was with, it didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter if we were together, we were always a part of each other's life. Like
Mm-hmm.
what really done it for me was one day, this was after I
Okay.
went to
Okay.
pick up the phone to call him. I'll never forget it. 931-286-1889, and could not call.
Mm.
Like it just cause when things are so natural.
Oh yeah, Tia.
And I was
Yeah.
like, and then that was not a good day. because that was like
Right.
reality, right?
Yep.
And I think I
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
calling him to say, like, hey, Lathan, I don't know, something with school maybe or something. And
Yeah.
baby, you ain't calling him to tell
No.
him nothing. So
Yeah.
once I had that moment, I just looked up and I said, okay, Sean, this is what I want to tell you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
um that's one of the roughest things. Like, not only did I
Yes.
lose a friend,
Mm-hmm.
but I lost my son's father. Um, he was one of the ones that taught me like small things, like a vehicle. You don't want
Uh-huh.
a car note. Save your
Mm-mm.
money. Like, he taught me
That's
that.
right.
Save your money, buy your car outright. Then you don't
That's
have a
right.
car note. All you have to do is just maintenance and insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Those types of things.
Yeah.
That may not mean
Yeah.
something to somebody else, but it means something to me. He
Oh
taught
yeah.
me that.
Yeah.
How to cook too.
Uh-huh.
Grilling.
Yeah.
Oh, he loved to grill. He loved to cook seafood jambalaya,
Oh.
taco soup. You know, you need this,
Yeah.
this, and this. Like, I remember one time me
Uh-huh.
and him had a competition who could make the best lasagna. So I miss those
Yeah.
things. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, to you. Mm.
so um
Yeah.
how was I doing then, right then at first?
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Yeah.
Not good at all. Um, so many things went through my head. So many things went through my head. The
Mm-hmm.
day that Sean passed away, December 28th, 2023, he had been the caretaker of his father. And his father had got up in age and had some health things going on. And Sean
Mm-hmm.
was helping to see about him. And it was challenging for Sean because he had never just been a caretaker for somebody, you
Okay.
know. Um,
Uh-huh.
so things new, it's gonna be challenging, right? Because you don't know.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But he had talked to me and some other people just to get advice, like, what do you think about this and what do you think about that. So just to sum it up, his dad, he had decided that to have his dad go to a care facility, a nursing home, and that facility at that time was in Lawrenceburg.
Okay.
So after a little while, he just felt like, nah, I'd rather him be closer. So he had
Mm-hmm.
talked
Mm-hmm.
to, some more people, nursing staff and family and friends, and the decision was made to bring his dad closer to Columbia, but the only opening was in Mount Pleasant. There was a facility in Mount Pleasant. So
Okay.
we had talked like the night before,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been the 27th, and what do you think? And he
Mm-hmm.
always loved to
Mm-hmm.
know what somebody else thought about something. I mean, he made his
Mm-hmm.
own decision, but he wanted to
Yeah.
know what somebody thought, right? Okay, fine,
Mm-hmm.
no big deal.
Yeah.
So he asked would I ride with him down there the next morning, which was December 28th,
Mm-hmm.
so his dad could be moved from Lawrenceburg to Mount Pleasant. Sure, no big deal.
Right.
So, but I had forgot that Landon and Lathan were invited to a birthday party by their friends at the Urban Air in Franklin, in Cool Springs, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
didn't think about it then. I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll ride with
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah.
So that morning, his friend's mom, which just so happened were ladies that I had worked with in education at Randolph Howe Elementary STEM School.
Okay.
So at this time, I was working for Labor and Workforce Development at the American Job Center with your mom.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
Sean called about 8 o'clock that morning, about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and he said, well, what time you gonna be ready? And I said, I completely forgot. I said, my
Mhm.
bad, Sean. I completely forgot that Landon and Lathan had a birthday party to go to at Urban Air in Cool Springs. He said, well, what time is the party? I said, I think it was at 10. Thing
Mhm.
was at 10. I said at 10. So it's early enough. And it was gonna last a couple hours, maybe like to 11 or 12. I
Mhm.
said, so what I'll do is, if you don't mind, first I asked him, I said, do you think we have enough time to go there and come back? I said, because it's
Mhm.
8 o'clock now. And then he was like, they ain't gonna wait on you. So we started laughing, and I said, well, I tell you what, we'll go to the party, be there a couple hours, we'll come back, then we could go down there. He said,
Okay.
okay. Little did I know that was going to be my last time talking to him, right?
Okay.
On the way there, I don't know, something just kind of came over me a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't put my finger on it, but we
Yeah.
went on.
Mhm.
And next thing I know, I'm getting a phone call while they're playing with their friends having this birthday party. I get a phone call, and the exact words were, Sean just had a wreck. I'm like, a wreck? They were like,
Mhm.
yeah. So I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Right. Right.
Then I get a phone call and say that Sean had passed away. Tiffany,
Mm.
I thought I was in the twilight zone.
Yeah.
I just
Mhm.
couldn't fathom it. I couldn't
Yeah.
fathom it. So I'm calling family, I'm calling friends, I'm calling anybody just to tell me that it's not true, because I called him like 20 times and he
Yeah.
would not
Yeah.
answer the phone. He would not answer the phone. And I'm saying, and I'm outside in front of Urban
I
Air.
know.
And I know those people were thinking, what on God's earth has happened to this
Yeah.
woman? But I
Yeah.
just, I just wanted to know that he was okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once I spoke to family and they confirmed, I go back inside and I talked to the two parents that are my friends,
Okay.
and they consoled me, and I got out what I could get out.
Yeah.
And I went to the bathroom, and I remember trying to get myself together, and I was like, I can't tell Landon and Lathan right now,
Mm.
because I've
Right.
got to drive back to Columbia.
Mm. Yeah.
So by the grace of God, did that, but they kept saying, Mama, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And I
They knew
said, just
something
hold
was
on,
wrong.
y'all. Let's get home. And I remember praying all the way home. I don't know if I remember the ride. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, I don't
Oh
know if I
yeah.
remember the ride, but I know I got from Urban Air to the hospital. So that was that day. And then it was just kind of blank after that. I
Mhm.
remember like going there and helping write the obituary to his mom's, and then I remember like the funeral and the wake, but a lot of it
Mhm.
is just like a
Yeah.
blur.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
me, Landon, and Lathan, all of us, therapy, because we had to.
Yeah.
We
Oh
had to
yeah.
have
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
Together first.
Uh-huh.
Um and now we're working on doing it separate. So I'll
Separately.
have my
Okay.
own, Landon will have his own, Lathan will have his own. You wouldn't think that it would have affected Landon, but it did, because Landon
Yeah.
knew
Mhm.
Sean since Landon was 2. He's 12.
Yeah.
And although he's on the
Wow.
spectrum, I
Yeah.
just remember
Yeah.
him saying, Mama, Sean's dead. Is he coming back? Things like
Mhm.
that. Is he in heaven? Where is he? Like,
Mhm.
that was hard.
Oh
That
yeah, I
was
bet.
so hard.
I bet.
So through all of that, and then Lathan asked me, well, why did, and he called him then, Dada, why did Dada, like, what happened? So I explained that he was sick, he had a heart attack and it happened while he
Yeah.
was driving. And I just learned, be honest with them.
Oh.
Like, don't sweep stuff under the rug. Don't sugarcoat it. Tell them the truth. Let them grieve their own way. Like,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
and it's not just me, and it's not just Landon, and it's not just Lathan. It's all of his family, all of his friends. That's
Yeah.
just like with the four ladies that, transitioned. It's all of their
Mhm.
families, all of their friends. Like,
That's
I've
right.
prayed for everybody because I know how I feel. I can just imagine how
Yeah.
they all feel. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like it's just rough because it's never in your plan for somebody to transition,
I know.
but you just one day they're here, the next day they're
Yeah.
gone. So it turned my world upside down.
Yeah.
Um, for more than one reason. Like
Mhm. Mhm.
I've had to adjust, like
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
only with me but with my boys too.
Right.
Lathan can't pick the phone up. He talks to his daddy every day, morning, noon,
Yeah.
and night. you know
Yeah.
and now he can't talk to him, so I tell him he's at the graveyard. We can go there anytime. So we do. We go there, take
Okay.
balloons,
Okay.
take flowers. I'll let them go up there if Lathan wants to play a song for him, if Lathan wants to dance, like
Okay.
I try my
Okay.
best to make it comfortable for
Okay.
Lathan, comfortable for Landon, because, and I love how you said how, all these people have played, major roles in their lives because it
Mhm.
is that way. Like, yes, Sean is Lathan's father. Me and Sean made Lathan. Me and Vance
Right.
made Landon.
Uh-huh.
However, both of them will say, Sean's my daddy, Vance is my daddy. You know,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Nana, Nana is our Nana. That's our grandmama too. But she's Landon's grandmama, but she's also Lathan's. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I
that's
love
just,
it,
I
Tia.
have never separated my boys. Like,
Yeah.
you go with them, but you can't go with them because that's not your family. No, we've never done that.
That's
Granny
amazing.
Mae, that's Sean's mama. She's also Landon's Granny Mae. Landon calls her
Gotcha.
Granny Mae too, right?
Yeah.
Still to this day. So those things are important to me. Family is important to me.
Yeah.
I don't ever
Yeah.
want my babies to feel like an outcast, and
That's
they're
right,
not
Tia.
going to. And
That's
none of
right.
these families have ever done that. They've
That's
all been
amazing.
good to both of my boys. It's a
Mhm.
package deal.
Yeah.
When Sean
Yeah.
went and got
Yeah.
something for Lathan, he got it for Landon too. When Vance gets something for Landon, he gets it for Lathan too. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
That's
it should
beautiful,
be that
Tia.
way.
It
Yes.
should. You should hear more stories like that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And that both
So,
all parties are mature enough for it to be
yes,
that way and
we
it
all have
be
co-parented. Co-parent, like me and
yeah.
Sean co-parent. Me and Vance
Yeah.
co-parent. Like that's just regardless of me and them. That's
Uh-huh.
besides the point.
Right.
The important thing is these children, you
That's right
know,
to you.
and I love Vance's other children, and I
Uh-huh.
love Sean's other children. Like, I've never
Mhm.
mistreated them, and they respect me and they love me. Same thing. If I see
Yeah.
them now, they're gonna, hey Tia, how you doing? Give me a hug. And if I'm by myself, they ask me, where's Landon? Where's
Yeah.
Lathan?
Yeah.
Those types of things. Or they text me, how's the boys doing? They don't just ask
Right.
about one, they ask about
One.
both. So that's how Sean's transition affected me. That's why it
Gotcha.
affected me. That's how
Yeah.
it affected us
Yeah.
because he is and was and still is a big part of our life.
Yeah.
We have a wind
Yeah.
chime. I have to share this. We have a
Yeah, you go
wind
ahead. Go
chime
ahead.
that one of our closest friends um, gave them. And the
Mhm.
wind chime, it hangs on our porch and it has scriptures on each one, on each chime.
Oh,
It has
yeah.
scriptures, Bible
Yeah.
scriptures. And so I use that as a metaphor. I'm like, okay, Sean's listening to y'all because it
Yeah.
was given to them on behalf of Sean. So things like that. And then I hear Dada and then Landon. I hear Sean,
Uh-huh.
because as the wind blows, you can hear it.
They
I
can
think it
hear
is so
it.
sweet. But I let them know he is still here. Like he may not
Yeah.
physically be
That's
with
right.
y'all, but you
Yep.
can still talk to him. You
That's
still
right.
love him,
That's right.
and he sees you. He just sees you from heaven.
Yeah.
He's looking
Yeah.
down on you. He sees you from heaven. So those are the things that I teach them. Like I don't want them to believe, well, he's gone, he's never coming back, he don't love us, he doesn't know, because that is not the
Right.
case.
That's
It's
right.
already hard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
already hard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I try my best to
Yeah.
make the best of it, not only for me, but for them.
Yeah, yeah. I like how you pinned all of that, Tia. And I definitely like the way, like I say, the family works. I like the way you
Hmm.
just explained to me about the chimes, because that's,
Hmm.
you positive reframe that chime thing even for me.
Yes.
Cause I
Yes.
them chimes been thrown somewhere for
Don't
they
throw
they
it,
they
hang
hang
it.
they hanging, but they're not hanging like they should. But I
Yeah.
like the way how
Yes.
you're honoring that
Yes.
memory of Sean for both of the boys, with having
Yes.
it hanging and having them understand it in that way. So thank you for
Hmm.
sharing all that, T. I know it
Yes.
takes a lot for us to get on these type of platforms and talk about the hardest times of our life. But
Yes.
everything you just mentioned, I know I've definitely felt. So I really
Yes.
appreciate that. I know it's going to
Yes.
help somebody in their
I
journey,
hope
that they
so.
may be having with their children, if they've had a
Yes.
loss, whether it's a
Yes.
father, a grandmother, grandfather,
Yep.
sibling, whatever that looks like.
Yes.
I like how you really invest in your boys and you invest
Mm-hmm.
in making sure that they're okay, physically,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, like in all aspects.
Yes. I try and
Um,
prayer.
yeah,
Like I
yeah,
always tell them, like, I don't have to, I'm gonna always pray for y'all. However,
that's
you can
right.
pray for yourself. If you
Yeah.
feel sad, you just
Hmm.
say, God, please help me.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it. That's
Like you
it.
have to say it and
That's
he
right.
will help you. And just
Yeah.
know that you're going to be okay because this is one thing that I learned, Tiffany.
Okay.
Time don't stop.
No, it does not,
Time
Tia.
does not
It
stop.
don't. It
It's going to
don't.
keep on going. And it's going
Yes,
to be a new
ma'am.
day every day.
Yeah.
So, am I going to, and I ask myself this, am I going to just sit here and cry every day and be
Yeah.
sad every day, put myself
Mhm.
down every day, feel
Mhm.
like a failure every day? Or am I
Yeah.
going to get up, do the best I can, be grateful for what I have, and not focus on the things that I don't have,
Don't have.
and make the best of it?
Yeah. I like
So
that,
I got
Tia.
up, dust
You made a
myself off.
choice. Yeah.
Yes, intentional. I
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
intentional.
You chose life at the end of the day, Tia,
Yes,
because it's so easy when situations like what we're dealing with. It's so easy to go down the
yes,
rabbit hole and want to cover up and just be so
yes,
completely out the way. But you made a
yes.
conscious choice to
Mm-hmm.
not do that and to live. And like you
Mm-hmm.
say, time still goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Today at church, that's what the one thing the pastor was talking about, like the old school picture shows, how they had illustrations in the book,
Yes.
and they was like, don't get stuck on page 2,
Yeah.
like the picture, just like the picture book goes, you keep flipping
Yes.
them pages because it's
Yes.
gonna keep going. Life is gonna keep
Yes.
going. So
It is.
thank you
It
for
is.
mentioning that. I like
Yes,
that
it is.
the way
And
you
don't get me
said that.
wrong. I
Uh-huh.
I mean, it took some time to get there.
Yeah,
However, you
yeah.
still have to be intentional. And it's okay to
You have
cry.
to. Oh
It's
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Actually, they say crying's healthy for you. You get all that
Yeah. You
out,
get it
but
out.
then you say,
Yeah.
okay, I got it out.
Yeah.
Now what?
That's
Now
true.
what? I
Yeah.
got it out. Now what? Don't
Yeah.
hold it in. And I tell my
Mm-hmm.
boys the same thing. If you feel sad, it's okay to cry.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah.
don't
Oh
hurt
yeah.
yourself
That's
and
right.
don't hurt
Yeah.
somebody else. Don't
Oh, that
hurt
is so
yourself.
true.
Don't hurt somebody.
Yeah,
Get it out. If you want to punch a wall, that's fine. We
that's
can patch it
fine.
back up.
Yeah,
Long as you feel better once you
yeah.
get it out, release it,
Mhm.
talk
Mhm.
to God, release it, get it out. Now
Yeah.
what? What's the resolution?
Yeah.
What's the result that you're looking for?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
if you are stuck, that's exactly what's going to happen. And time's
That's
going to
right.
pass you by, you know. And I don't want to
Yeah.
be depressed, sad,
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
dark place. I've
Yeah.
been there. I know what that is. I don't
Oh
want to be
yeah.
there. Even before Sean passed away, I know what that is.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nah, I choose
Yeah.
different. I
I
choose
like
different.
that. I choose different. I
I
like
choose
that to
different.
you. Yeah. You just said a mouthful of stuff like you just dropping gems yeah, everything you just said I agree with. Like you
Mhm.
say, you have to make the conscious choice. You have to be intentional
Yes.
in choosing life and really what you want
Hmm.
out of life. And
Yep.
that's a great I know we've talked a lot about the boys surrounding Sean's death, but one thing I also wanted to talk to you today about, and we talked
Okay.
about previous before we even came on, was grieving. Different when life
Yep.
throws life at us and
Yep.
how we maneuver that. So I just want to give you opportunity to share your oldest son, Landon's,
Yep.
share his story with us and how
Okay.
grief kind of ties into a little bit of that
Yes.
experience for
Okay.
you.
So, first of all, I had to learn grief shows up in different forms.
Mm-hmm.
Grief is not always because somebody transitioned or passed
Yeah.
away, right?
Right. Right.
Sometimes we're grieving and don't know that that's what it is. So, let me tell you why I say
Mm.
that.
Okay.
When a woman is carrying a child, and this is my journey, okay?
Okay.
When a woman is carrying a child, you have all these hopes and dreams, and well, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen. And
Mm-hmm.
oh, but lo, behold, when a 360 happens and everything that you thought was going to transpire doesn't, it's like a slap
Mm-hmm.
in the face. Then you grieve because it's not going to happen. What do I mean by that? Landon was born full term. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Um, it wasn't no, I ate healthy. I ate, I drank water. It wasn't no partying and clubbing and, like I
Mm-hmm.
done everything that I was supposed to. I stayed
Yeah.
away from people because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
want them to get me sick, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing.
I didn't eat a
Pregnant.
lot of
Yeah.
salt. I
Okay.
mean, I craved water. um Fruits and vegetables, and like I'm telling you, went to the doctor every time I was supposed to, there early. If I was supposed to be there at 3:30, I was there at 3 o'clock. Those
Okay.
types of things. When I they told me to prop my feet up, I propped my feet up. I took my vitamins. I got plenty of sleep. Like I done everything I was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Landon at 39 weeks. That's considered
Okay.
full term, right? Because it was only
Yeah.
7 more days and then it'd be 40 weeks. 40
Mm-hmm.
weeks, that's 10 months. Supposed to
Yeah.
have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So had Landon, C-section, had Landon. Everything was fine. He was like 10 pounds. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Um, had him on a Wednesday. We came home that Friday. He grows up. Um, and then about 10, 11 months, I noticed a disconnect. I was like,
Okay.
I'd call his name at first and he'd look right at me. Or we
Mm-hmm.
had this little song that we were singing and I'd clap my hands and he'd look right at me and he'd clap his hands,
Mm-hmm.
or just all kinds of stuff. Then all of a sudden, hmm, okay. So 12 months, 1-year-old, and I noticed he was having like a lot of ear infections. And I'm like, okay, I need to see what's going on with my baby.
Mm-hmm.
Make a long story short, he was on the spectrum. So
Okay.
basically, I went to the pediatrician with my concerns. Um, Told him what I noticed, what I observed. He done a referral. We went to Vanderbilt. They observed him. Landon thought he was playing, but they was observing him and diagnosed him with being on the spectrum.
Okay.
I had no idea what that meant. All I knew
Yeah.
was something was wrong with my baby. Okay?
Gotcha. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cried, I cried, I cried, I cried, and I cried. And I asked God, why? 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 I want to know why.
Yeah.
Why did you do this to my baby? What did I do wrong? I'm a good person. I shouldn't have. Then one day, he said, it's not about you.
Mm.
Plain as day.
Mm.
It's not about you. I gave you that baby for a reason. I heard it plain as day, Tiffany. I gave you that baby for a reason. Your job is to take care of him. After
Mm.
that, I embraced it.
Okay.
It was no more why.
Okay.
So I grieved all the things that I thought he was going to do, and I
Uh-huh.
accepted and embraced the things that God said he was going to do. We've been
Gotcha.
smooth sailing ever since.
Ever since.
He don't care about playing football. My baby loves
Uh-huh.
to build. He loves to build Legos. He loves to do
Okay.
things with Play-Doh. He loves to do
Okay.
things with electronics, computers, tablets, TVs. Like, that's his thing. If it's a sport,
Gotcha.
he may do cross country.
Okay.
He
Okay.
loves to swim. He don't care about baseball, basketball, football, hockey.
Y-
Not his
Yeah.
forte. It
Uh-huh.
was my job to
Yeah.
say, okay, God, okay, it's not about me. You're right. I had to
Yeah.
change my way of thinking.
That's
It wasn't about
yeah.
me. My job was to
Yeah.
take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. So therapy, any therapies. Because at first I was frustrated and like I wanted Landon to be on my level.
Uh-huh.
And that was not it.
Right.
He
Right.
didn't need to be on my level. I had to get on his level because he
Yeah.
was verbal. And then he went from being verbal to nonverbal.
Okay. Okay.
So there's no words for him to express himself. He would point or come and
Mm-hmm.
get me and grab my arm to take me to what he wanted.
Okay.
You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Or he would,
Yeah.
or I would say, well, what do you want, baby? You know, and then, come show mama. Or he would bring it to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then as time went on and, all these tests, and then he wound up having sleep apnea. So he had surgery for that where he got his adenoids and tonsils taken out. He had tubes
Okay.
put in his ears to help with the sleep apnea and the drainage. That was all through
Okay.
Vanderbilt. And he was
Okay.
2. When all this stuff happened, he was 2.
Wow.
So
So young.
I was told that my baby was always going to be a year behind. I was
Okay.
told that my baby was not ever going to talk. The devil is a lie. He talks all the time.
All the
He
time.
is going to the 7th grade,
Seventh grade.
always on the honor roll. Like, yes,
Yeah.
he does awesome. But it took work. It
Yeah.
took
I
work,
bet.
like
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice. He was going to therapy at first Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an
Okay.
hour every time,
Every
either
time.
before school or after school. I took him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
how do these parents do this?
Yeah.
And it was all because a lot of the frustration came from, I don't understand him. All
Okay.
I had to
I
do
see.
was listen,
Yeah.
step back, observe,
Mm-hmm.
watch
Observe.
him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Repetition. When I get
Yeah.
frustrated, count to 10. Okay,
Uh-huh.
Start over.
Yeah.
Be calm, because children that are on the spectrum, they feel your vibe. If you're
Uh-huh.
tense and
Yeah.
angry, frustrated, going berserk, they're going to have the same vibe.
Same
You
vibe.
got to think, if you can't express yourself to somebody, how are you going to feel? That's going
Yeah.
to be
It's
difficult.
it is. Yeah.
If your stomach
Frustrating.
hurts,
Yeah.
your head hurts, your leg hurt, or
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever, you don't
Oh
feel
yeah.
good and you can't say those things,
Right. Right. Yeah.
how would you feel?
That's yeah.
Mhm. Same thing.
Frustrating. Just all of all of
Frustrated.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had to take a step back and I
Mm-hmm.
had to be observant and I had to learn, this is what that means. This is what that means.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, if I
Like patience.
say, yes, patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, straight up, like
Yeah.
100. Yes. Like you have to learn. Like I learned Landon can't have a nap because
Mm-hmm.
autism affects your sleeping pattern.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
already difficult to go to sleep. So I need him to wind down. Like I need him to get all that energy out because
Yeah.
autism is a neurological
Mm-hmm.
situation. So with that being said, it's like his brain is always in overdrive 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's going and going and going
Like
and
when you
going.
think of overstimulation, is it that kind of
Overstimulation, you're exactly
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So when
Yeah.
he's stimming, and like when you see kids and they flap their hands or they're jumping,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
bouncing,
Yeah.
rocking, all
Mm-hmm.
those are stimming. You just let them get
Gotcha.
it out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can't even count how many trampolines Landon has went through. See, that was something
Gotcha.
I learned.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
he needs a trampoline. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
not a an incentive. That's a necessity. He
Necessity.
needed that to burn that energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As to where Lathan had to say, Lathan, you go take a nap. But Landon doesn't have to. He can't. Because if I let Landon take a nap now, he won't go to bed later. And Landon will be up 3,
Yeah.
4, and 5 o'clock in the morning.
In the morning.
Then
Yeah.
it throws his next day off.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I could. Yeah.
And guess
Mm-hmm.
who's up with him?
You. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I say life be lifing, life be lifing. But you have to use the tools to
Uh-huh.
manage it
Yeah.
for you and your family. Yes, every family is different, but that's
Uh-huh.
what God gave me. He gave me him. He knew that I could
Yes.
handle him. He knew it. So I just
Yeah.
had to learn to embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Like he's not a mistake. He's a
Oh
blessing.
no. That's right. That's right to
He's a
you.
blessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight up blessing. And I'll tell anybody, I'm his biggest advocate. Like we're getting
Yes,
ready
you
to
are.
say to celebrate autism awareness.
That's right. Yeah.
We're getting ready to celebrate it, and we do every year. I mean, I celebrate him every day, but that's
Yeah.
Autism Awareness Month is in April.
Special. Yeah. Special
Yes,
month.
we wear
Yes.
our
Yes.
blue, we wear our
That's
puzzle
right. The
pieces,
puzzle
and
pieces.
honey,
Yeah.
yes, we've got
Yeah.
all kinds of shirts,
Yeah.
and I love it because I get to go to the schools and like especially Randolph Howe, and then this year, I mean, they're doing something too because that's where he's at. EA Cox.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yes.
amazing. Still
Yes.
carrying on that legacy
Yes.
that
Because
that
I
he
want those students to
established.
know because they see
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
and I want y'all to know
Mm-hmm.
this is Landon. You know,
Yes.
when he's
Yes.
not having, when he's having a challenging day, you
Okay.
know,
Uh-huh.
he may not slept well last night
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or he woke up at 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's noon, 3 a.m. to noon. Yes, he's winding down. So he may, not be himself.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
things like that you got to take into account.
Mm-hmm.
So don't just think, and I mean, I've seen it, Tiffany, where not necessarily with Landon, but like I've seen, like, oh, well, that kid's bad. Or that,
Labeling them.
don't label. Is that kid
That's
hungry?
right.
Has that
That's
kid
right.
eaten?
That's
Does
right,
that
Tia.
kid not feel good? And
Yep.
I'll ask Landon, does your head hurt? Does your
Uh-huh.
stomach hurt? Does your throat hurt? Tell mama.
Yeah.
And I have
Yes.
it. Look at me.
That's
And
right.
then we have this count system. I start at
Okay.
5 and I go
Okay.
to 1.
Okay.
And he
Okay.
knows it. I'll say 5,
Okay.
4, and he knows if I get to 1, he
Yeah.
has to do whatever is asked of him,
Okay.
whatever it
Okay.
is. If
Okay.
he doesn't, it's consequence.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
say turn off the TV because it's time to go to bed and you don't turn the TV off, okay. So when you get home from school tomorrow, you don't get the TV.
Gotcha. So boundaries is important,
Yeah.
especially as he's getting older. And I see, I like how you don't. Oh, you know how sometimes I feel like people will be like, oh, this child may get special treatment for whatever the reason is. You make
Yes.
Landon
No.
normal as any kid. Like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
he's not his diagnosis. Like,
Mm-hmm. No.
he has a regular life just like
Yes.
all of us. We all have individual needs, no matter
Yes.
who we are, what we do.
Yes.
And I like the way you have advocated for him in a way that, it's not like you said, it's not like, oh, woe is me. I have this child who does have, we have to kind of handle things and modify things in a different type of way. No, you
Yep.
embrace it. And I
Yes.
wish you could be. I know you are a spokesman, but I work in childcare, and
Yeah.
we have coaches who work with children who have disabilities within the early childcare system, like
Yes.
0 to 5.
Yes.
um and those parents are sometimes they just don't even know how to start, how to deal, and you have mastered that, Tia, and you need
Mhm.
to congratulate yourself
Thank
because you have got it down pat. Like, if I could have a poster parent, like, I wish we could bring parents to parent meetings when we have them, because
Yeah.
it's like, this is the roadmap, to how me and my child has navigated,
Yes.
this autism, him being on the spectrum journey,
Yes.
not
Yes.
discounted, you had your own feelings in the beginning, and I'm sure even now it's probably a little challenging as it goes, but you
Oh, I
know how
didn't
to
know.
handle it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not always peaches and cream.
Uh-huh.
However, you have to know
Yeah.
just because there is a special need
Yeah.
does not make your child not know what's going on.
That's right, Tia.
Yes, they
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. It's
Yeah.
it's our job as parents to master, as you say, the
Mm-hmm.
best roadmap for them. You have to
Yeah.
use the tools, like that's what therapy's for, like
That's
speech
right.
therapy. And they
Uh-huh.
wanted to teach, like you said, early intervention. So between
Yeah.
0 to 5, okay, they wanted Landon to learn sign language. No,
Okay.
we are
Okay.
going to use words. I said, let me tell y'all why.
Yeah. Yeah.
He can use a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to get him through, please, thank you, stuff like that. I said, but
Mm-hmm.
I've got to learn sign language then. If that's the case, then I've
Yeah,
got to
that's
teach
right.
everybody else.
Everybody else around y'all's, yeah, the
We're not
support
doing that.
circle.
And then he won't ever talk. I
That's
need
right,
him to
Tia.
use his words. And that's exactly what I said. That's just like with IEPs. Schools
Yeah, I
will
was gonna
have
ask
these
you. Yeah.
meetings and then give parents an IEP, and then the parent thinks, well, this is what we have to do. You're the parent.
Yeah,
You have
Tia.
every right to say, I don't think this will work. Let's try this instead of this, because at the end of the day, that child is going home with you. That's your child.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yes,
right,
they're with
Tia.
the teacher
You
during the
right.
daytime. Landon is in a general education class with his own peers.
His
He's
own
not in
peers.
special ed.
Mm-mm.
He may go there to take a break when he needs a
Mm-hmm.
break. And speaking of
Mm-hmm.
modification, yes, I have his work modified, but he
Yeah.
does the same work.
Yeah.
They may
Yeah.
get 5 worksheets to do.
Yeah.
He gets those same 5.
Mm-hmm.
However, his is modified. He doesn't have to
Yeah.
do all 5 at one time. He
Yeah.
can do one worksheet, take a break. That's
Yeah.
his incentive. you do this worksheet, then you get to take a break.
Take a
Whether
break.
it's get on the computer, go get a drink of water, go, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever that incentive is for him, and he
Mm-hmm.
gets to pick the incentive. So it's like he has a little control. Like
Uh-huh.
he's the one that came up with that. But it's really not.
Gotcha.
The ultimate goal is to get him complete your work. That's it.
Yeah.
I want you to
Yeah.
learn and
Yeah.
complete your work. So
Uh-huh.
he can do a worksheet, and then he can take a break, and then he can do
Mm-hmm.
another one, and then he can take a break, but he's still doing five.
Yeah.
He may not do
Yeah.
five at one time, but
One
he is still
time.
doing five.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
called modifying. His work
That's
is
right.
modified, but he
Yeah.
does the same work, same work.
Yeah.
And that is in his IEP.
And you took charge of it, Tia, and you stood up like, no, my child, like, this is what we're doing. Now y'all work with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And in
yes,
early childcare, that's one thing we often say. I'm trying to make sure I quote it right, but it's we talk about inclusivity and including all. And
yeah,
we have this thing about what's necessary for one is good for all. Like, they all benefit. They all learn from each other. We're not about
yes,
singling kids out and the
no,
labels and all of that. Like, yeah, things may have to be, like you say, modified a little bit,
yep,
make some
yep,
adaptations to make it
yep.
work. But I tell people, like, even in there, like, everybody is different.
Every different.
And so I appreciate you, because that was one thing I was going to ask you about, how you've navigated the education system, because that's a big piece when you do have a child that's on the spectrum, like them trying to tell you what to do is, and you are like, no, this is what we do. And
You
I'm
have to
in,
attend those
yeah.
meetings. When they have those
Oh yeah.
meetings, you have to
Yeah.
attend. You
Be
can't say, well,
present.
oh, okay. No, I
Yeah.
go.
Be
And I
present.
start
Yep.
he just got his new one not that long ago, and I'm a
Hmm.
big part of it. Like, this is what we do at home. This is
Yeah.
what we do at church. And like, they'll ask you, well, I've had teachers and I've had parents. You let him go to church every Sunday,
That's right. Wow.
and he knows how to sit down because they don't take
Yeah.
their kids. Mine
They don't
goes.
see you.
We go to church. We go to the park. We go
Yeah.
to vacations. We go.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere. I
It's
don't
like,
say
this
that
is not
he.
a, yeah, this is not a
No, it's
handicap
not handicap.
situation. Right.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And when I say don't touch, look with your eyes, that's what I mean. Instead of saying don't touch, don't touch, because autism, they like to feel. It's a
Sensory.
texture thing. They want to feel
Yep.
sensory. There you go.
Sensory
So
based.
I'll
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
that does not belong to you.
Uh-huh.
You are not allowed to touch it with your hands, but you can look at it with your eyes.
Their eyes.
And
Yeah.
he's even told me, I was like, Landon, don't touch it. But Mama, you said I can look at it with my eyes.
He throwing it back on you. I love
Yeah.
that, Tia. I
Oh,
love
he's a trip.
that. But
Yes. So
yeah,
that, yeah.
you said something. I was gonna say something about, but hopefully it'll come back to me. Just keep talking; it'll come back to me, I'm
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
But no,
But
that's good.
just I'm an older mama. I had Landon at
Okay,
37 and I had Lathan at 41.
okay, Tia. Okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
one of the main things of why he probably, because there's really not a diagnosis for autism. However,
Hmm.
it has been said if you're over 35,
Yeah.
you're more at risk. You're considered high
Hmm.
risk. It's more common in African American boys. Um, it could
Okay.
be genetics.
Hmm.
But all in all, none of that matters to me. That's my
Right.
son.
That's right.
Um, I have one position, and that is to love him, provide for him, take care of him, and make sure that he's safe and
Yes.
bring him up the right way. I want him to be as independent as he can be.
Hmm.
He can write, he can talk, he takes his own bath, he puts his own clothes on, he ties his own shoes, he combs his own hair, brushes his own teeth, puts his stuff away, gets his own
Hmm.
food. Um, he is in a regular general ed class, but he does have an assistant. That's just
Hmm.
for her to get him on track when he gets off track. For
Okay.
example, if he's sitting there in class and then she noticed that he just kind of stares off, her job is to, hey, come on,
Okay.
but he also has a timer, you know,
Yeah.
do this in 5 minutes, do this in 10
Mm-hmm.
minutes, and then his job is to turn the timer on, you know.
Gotcha.
So just things like that.
Yeah. So he's interacting with those supports that have been put in
Hmm.
place for him to
Hmm.
really, just navigate everyday like life
Yes,
duties or school
yes,
duties or whatever it is.
yes,
And what I was gonna say to you, Tia, it came to my head,
okay,
consistency.
yes.
I'm sure your parents, your family, the
Hmm.
church, the education system, everybody
Yes,
has that consistency. And I know that's something we really talk about when we're in those early learning
yes,
um facilities, is the
yes,
consistency for all
yes,
children really, but that
yes.
consistency. And so when you mention timers and stuff, I'm like, that's visual cues, the
Yep,
cues we always talk about.
yep. Visual
Yeah,
aids. He's got a
yeah, visual
folder too.
aids.
Yes,
Yeah,
and when he completes one thing, he gets to move his sticker or label or whatever from not
yeah,
complete to complete.
yeah,
Not
that's seeing
complete
that
to complete.
accomplishment. Yeah.
Yes.
And
And then when
that,
he completes like 4 or 5 things, he gets an incentive. All of that is in his
nice.
IEP. All of it.
Wow, I'm glad you're saying it to you, because that's good for people who, may need to know, and to empower parents, like, get on
Yes.
board and know what's
Yes.
in your child's IEP. And
Yes.
because they're gonna keep growing, and
Yes.
by the time Landon's 16, he'll probably be able to get a job somewhere and be
Oh
doing
yeah.
something,
We're already working on it
whatever.
now.
Well, praise God. I should have knew. I should have knew. I should have knew.
We're working on that now. And if he wants to
That
go
is
to college, he can
amazing.
too. Vanderbilt has a
Yes.
program. Vanderbilt
Okay.
has a program for special
Yeah.
need children, people, young adults that you could take. And
Gotcha.
he could do it. But if he wants to
Yeah.
go to UT Knoxville, he could too, because
Yeah.
he
That's
can
what you rooted.
go but I mean, he could do that too if he wanted to, just because
Yeah.
not only do I work for them, I'm a
Yeah.
student there too. So he
Too.
gets to reap the benefits of that too.
That's right. And them some good benefits when you work for a car. No.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes,
oh,
they
I
are.
see. Yep, that's a good benefit. But
Yes.
I love that, Tia. And even you mentioned in college, like, you already see this for your child. Like, and then, in the
Hmm.
beginning you was telling me how he likes to build. And when you were saying all this stuff, I'm thinking architect. Like, I'm
Yep.
thinking of all these different career fields that I'm
Yes.
like Landon could completely have with the route
Yes.
you are going, with him growing up and really becoming a young man, essentially. I
Yes.
can't believe he's as old as he is now,
I
but
know.
he's
Old
getting
time
there.
flies.
And you
Yes.
have prepared him. Like, you are preparing him. And I've seen y'all out a few times. Landon's very independent, like, very independent. And I think that's something to be applauded, for sure.
Thank you.
For
Thank
sure.
you.
Well, thank you for sharing all this. I know we could go
Yes.
on and on about Landon
Yes.
and about your parenting, but
Yeah.
I mean, both of your boys. I mean, you can just, when you see children and you see how well behaved they are, you see, like you say, the manners, the yes ma'am, no ma'am,
Hmm.
all of that is through the tutelage of them being raised by good people, good
Hmm.
parents, good grandparents. And it really shows community more than anything.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so that's amazing. I think you tied everything I really had for you up in a bow. I'm gonna ask you one more question, then we're gonna wrap up.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
do you know, for parents, do they have like support groups for parents who, have children that may be on the spectrum or maybe dealing with Down syndrome? I mean, there's so many, things. Do they have support groups like that around here or Nashville or anywhere?
They do. I will tell you, mostly you have to get online and research.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Okay.
They do have
Okay.
some like on platforms like social media platforms,
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram and all those things. And I am a part of some of them, but there is
Okay.
one website that I want to say. It is
Okay.
called findhelp.org.
Okay.
That has all types of resources, and they
Okay.
have things in there too. Um, Autism Speaks is a good one.
Okay.
Um, they have all types of things too. But if people would just go to Google, type in
Mhm.
autism support, and put in
Okay.
your area, you should be able to find something that is for you and your family.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I definitely
Mhm.
wanted to mention this here. And the two websites you just mentioned, Autism Speaks and findhelp.org, we can link that in the description of this video just so people have
Okay,
it for
yes.
just resources, you know.
Yes,
So I
yes,
appreciate you
yes.
for
Mhm.
mentioning both of those.
Okay.
Okay, so Tia, as we wrap, as you know, Quinn was all into music.
Yes.
That was like his passion. So I ask everybody that comes on my episodes, if you could be a song, be your life story, what would it be and why?
Gracefully Broken by Tasha
Okay.
Cobbs.
Okay.
Because that would be my song. And
Mm-hmm.
why is because although I've been through a lot,
Mm-hmm.
trials, hurt, pain, um, ups, downs, ins, outs, um, I still know that all of that, good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent,
Mm-hmm.
all of that, I'm still covered, I'm still protected, and I still have a purpose because I
Yeah.
am a child of the creator of all things
Mm-hmm.
good. I keep it moving forward. I try my best to stay positive because I
Yeah.
already know the negative side. I
Yeah.
know what that is. That
Yeah.
doesn't
That's
feel
right.
good to me. That makes me
Okay.
sad.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me confused. That makes me feel less than.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm somebody because
Yeah.
my Lord and Savior said so. So I just feel like gracefully broken. That is that. If you look up gracefully broken,
I'm gonna do it
that
when
is
I get
me.
off.
Look it up.
Okay.
Look
I'm
it
gonna
up.
look it up when I get off of here. I definitely am.
Look up gracefully broken. And it is everything that I just said. But still, still come out on top,
Still come out
regardless.
on top. Wow.
Still come out on top.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I feel like
Yes.
I've seen it before. I don't know if I've listened to it. You know, Quinn
Gracefully
had the
broken.
collection of all the songs, and so
You
I'm
done
trying to
heard
build
it.
my own. So I bet I've
Yes.
heard it, but
You've
I will
heard
have to
it.
look that up to you.
You have heard
Thank
it.
you, thank you
You're
for
welcome.
introducing me to that song that I may not like. So once I hit listen, I'll
Mm-hmm.
probably catch on and be like, yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, I appreciate that, Tia. I feel like we could do a part two maybe later, a couple of months, because
Yes.
I just from this is just the surface, scratching the surface
Mm-hmm.
of our conversation, because I
Yes.
feel like there's so much more that I
Mhm.
want to like ask you now that you loaded
Okay.
me with all that. Um,
Okay.
I want a part two at some point. So
Okay. You just let me know. I
yeah, yeah,
appreciate it.
yes,
I have
yes.
really enjoyed this, and it is just a blessing to be able to spend this time with you and just
It
to speak
is.
on my journey and how good God is to me and my family. And I feel honored. People don't really ask you like how you really feel, about things
Yeah.
and life.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, whatever, But for you to just invite me to be here on your platform, and I'm going to tell you,
Yeah.
you are doing great things
Oh,
with
thank you,
this
Tia.
platform. Um,
Thank you.
I have to applaud you because this is awesome. And for you to invite people and just for them
Mhm.
to be able to share. And not only is this a place to help other people, but it's to help the people that's sharing too, because
Yes, it
I
is.
feel light. Like I feel like a load
Oh, wow.
has been
Okay,
lifted
Tia.
off of me. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I
Yep.
appreciate that. I try to create safe, spaces and a safe space rather, for people to share their story, and it's helping others. It's helping us all. Like it's really I
Yes.
call it soul work. because
Yes.
we can get in the hustle and bustle of everything else, who's the most pop and who's the most this and that. But I'm
Yes.
concerned about your soul because I'm concerned about my
Yes.
own soul at this particular point in my
Yes.
life. So it's
Yes.
about just pouring into each other, which pours
Yes.
into ourselves. And so that's really what my goal was in having this
Mm-hmm.
whole, platform, to let it be what Quinn led by, like helping people, putting people in touch with
Yes.
resources and all that. So really just
Yes.
carrying on his legacy, but in my
Yeah.
own way in this
Yeah.
year. So
And
I
you're doing a
appreciate the
phenomenal job.
feedback.
Phenomenal
Thank
job.
you. I
Keep
appreciate that
doing it. I'm
feedback.
telling you, sister. Keep doing it.
I will. I will. Everybody
Yes.
tells me that. So I'm like, I know this guy speaking. Like, keep
It
going.
is.
Even on them tough
Yes.
days. Keep going. Keep
Yes.
going. Well,
Yes.
Tia, I want to ask you, is there anything you want to promote? I know we've talked a lot about autism. We have the website, so I'm going to link. Anything else you have going on that you want to promote? The boys have going on. This is, I always like offering up this time as well
Okay,
for we end.
so if there's any parents that would like for their child to be a part of Cub Scouts, they can reach out to me and I can get them linked up with that because that's something, that we do. Also, if there's children that their kids want to play softball, it's laid back. It's not, I mean, it's competitive, but it's laid back. You know what I'm saying? Where the
Mm-hmm.
kids can have fun. They can reach
Yeah.
out to me for that. I'd be
Okay.
glad to do that too. If you know anybody in the Williamson, Hickman, Perry, Lewis area that has been ordered by the court to pay child support, my position as a coordinator is to advocate, support, and assist. If you're in those areas, I can be your coordinator to help you live a self sufficient life and get back on track. Also, with autism, if anyone wants to reach out to me just for me to listen or give advice on what I've done with my son, I'm willing to do that. If you are looking for a church home, you are more than welcome
Mm-hmm.
to come to my church home, which is Grace United. It is on East 8th Street, 416 East 8th Street with Pastor Kerry Dwayne James. We will be so glad to accept you with open arms.
And then Tia, y'all have the Nashville location too. Is it
And we do
Dickerson
have,
Pike
yep,
still?
yep, we have Nashville location. It is at 4033 Dickerson Pike, Nashville, Tennessee. So any of those things. And again, if you need any type of resource from home, food, clothes, financial, any of those things, go to findhelp.org and you put your zip code in. Doesn't matter where you live. It's based off of a radius. It may not be in your specific county or town, but they can get you to the closest of where you live. If you want to support autism, always support Autism Speaks. If you are wanting to do something in the month of April for autism awareness, reach out to me. I'm willing.
Awesome. Well,
I'm
sounds good. You got a
willing.
lot going on, Tia. That's good
Yeah,
though.
but it's
Good to
all
stay
good.
busy, but it's
It's
good.
yeah, but
It's good.
everything that I'm a
That is
part of,
amazing.
it is a part of my life. Like it's
Yeah.
it has some connection to my life. So
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
And I
What
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing so much today. I know it takes a lot to bear your soul, but I really appreciate it, Tia. I do.
I
I do.
appreciate you.
Well, I end every episode here with saying all is well. That was one thing Quinn used to say is
Yes.
all is well. So
All
I'm
is
going
well.
to end it there. And we hope to see you guys back in 2 weeks with our next
Yeah.
episode. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Tia Alderson, for being on. And I hope you guys have a really good week. Top of the Sunday, top of the week. So have a good week. And we will
Yes.
see y'all next in 2 weeks. Have a good
Yes.
one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Welcome. We hope that today's episode has encouraged you and helped to identify strategies to navigate your grief and begin the process of moving forward in life. Grief Tribe Healing Vibes. What were some key takeaways from today's episode? Drop a comment below and remember to like, follow, and subscribe.